over time, a group of people have come together and began to identify themselves as the Obidient movement. Obviously, the name came out of the presidential candidacy of His Excellency, and I'm happy to say that, His Excellency, Gregory Peter Obi. So he took his name, the movement took his name from that. By the time Dati emerged as the vice presidential candidate, there was an attempt at rebranding it to call it the Obidati, but it never clicked. Not because Dati wasn't embraced. It wasn't exactly a very easy proposition to embrace a man who would not come along with our position on NSAS initially. So I think eventually we all settled on the Obidient movement. It became the way this group of people came to be known, the Obidient movement. But what is the Obidient movement? What does it mean? You know, the funny thing is, the Yorubas have this proverb. They say, "Bí onígbá bá ṣe pé igbá ẹ̀, náà ṣe máa ń bá pé." It is the usage to which you place your vessel that others would put it as well. So if I have a bowl and I use it to eat, others will eat with it. But if they have found me taking it into the bathroom, they will take it into the bathroom as well. So I am the one who determines the value that other will place on my vessel. And it is the same thing with naming things or defining things. So you find very quickly that this collective, who were at one point branded 4 children tweeting in a room, irritants to be ignored, inconsequential fringe elements, soon irritated the system enough that they started calling them irascible. In fact, rude. Many a TV pundit spoke about the extreme rudeness of the Obidient movement. They were defining this movement. That doesn't really, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It was all kind of people popping out of the woodworks, calling themselves Obidient. After a while, they said, no structure. It's a structureless, then they will soon fizzle out. And then you guys started with the rallies. And then the rallies snowballed, began to spring up all over the country. They say, oh, it's an Igbo thing. Soon you began to see rallies in the east, in the north, in the west, Lagos, everywhere. Rallies began to spring up. But this does not define the movement. What is the Obidient movement? So, what is a movement? A movement is essentially a group of people who have coalesced behind a particular set of ideas. So you can only define a movement by the ideas that it propagates, the ideals that the movement holds there. That means a collection of people have common ideas as to what they want, and it is these ideas and ideals behind which they will coalesce. But that is not enough. Not when it is a movement that considers itself revolutionary. Because I am not part of any movement that is not revolutionary. My purpose is to change Nigeria. So when I looked at the Obidient movement, before I settled on becoming a member of the Obidient movement, I asked myself, what does it mean? The Obidient movement is essentially a coalition of those who have been marginalized by Nigeria, those who have, in one way or the other, been victimized by Nigeria, whether those be Hausa, whether those be Yoruba, those who aspire for a better country, one that is hinged to reason, that understands the need to plan for a future for the children. Those are the people that came together and started calling themselves the Obidient. Let's be clear, these are Nigerians desiring change. We found a worthy leader in Peter Obi.